Good evening and welcome to a humid edition of Charmel Has Stories to Tell. And the last time we met, I wanted you to Google what the 4th of July stands for, what it means. I didn't want to send you off to no history lesson, but I wanted you to Google it for yourself so you'll know what the 4th of July is about. And if you didn't, one thing people don't realize is that the British owned territories in the United States. They owned what was called the colonies, the British colonies or the 13 colonies. And while they owned all this territory, the United States wanted freedom from Great Britain. They wanted to have their own independent country here in what we call the United States. So there was a actual American Revolutionary War. A war was going on between the British and the colonies. Okay, so eventually the United States won the war. They were fighting and killing each other over land and territory, just like they do. They war in this country. There's been wars going on all the time. So the British went on back to England. Some slaves, like I told you, it was slavery going on in 1776 when America became free. America became the United States of America. And the British went to England. Some Africans went to England, of course, and some stayed in the United States. Well, these 13 colonies consisted of several states over around the Atlantic Ocean. And money was being made from the slaves. More money was being made in the South because you can grow more foods in the South. And so slavery was stronger in the South than it was in the North. So once America became American, there was these United States. The southern states wanted to withdraw and form their own colonies and their own country and their own rules. So some southerners, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Louisiana, I'm missing a few, the same ones that worry about Confederate flags today, they formed this, they were the Southern Union, the southern colonies, middle colonies, and these northern colonies, where the southern colonies wanted to control the slavery. So they decided to have another war. And this war was in the Civil War, which was in late 1860s. So let me back it up a little bit. We got two wars going on in the United States, a Revolutionary War and the Civil War. The Revolutionary War meant that the United States gained freedom from Europe or the British colonies, and then the southern states wanted to control slavery to the point where they wanted to be their own country. So that's how they formed this Confederate states, Georgia and South Carolina, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama. They formed the Confederate states, so they wanted to do their own thing. And of course, there was a war. The Revolutionary War was, the Civil War, the Civil War was about ending slavery. And the southern states did not want to end slavery. They wanted to keep African slaves forever and ever and ever and ever. So they went to war, and the South lost. So the Confederate states, they lost the war. So naturally, when you lose, you're supposed to bring your stuff down, which is the Confederate flag. Now, people who want the Confederate flag are still up and wear Confederate clothing. They are the descendants of those Southerners who wanted slavery to last forever, but they lost in the war. So naturally, if you lose, you don't have no trophy. You need to come down with them statues, all those monuments. There's no need for that, even in the South, because there is no Confederate states. It's all the United States. But there are people who want to hold on to that Southern tradition of keeping people slaves. So that's why it's a big deal today, because the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren of those same people who wanted the Confederate flag, they still gun-ho Confederate. But you guys lost the war. You lost. There's no Confederate. It's over. It's time for all your monuments to come down. Okay, people keep their little banners up even though they won a championship, but a new banner comes up. Listen, I don't have time to have this drawn intro to American history, but I wanted to say something brief that people don't know what the Confederacy means. The people who love the Confederate flag don't even know what it means. They have not even checked the history. All they know is that it means white power. And in essence, it means white power. However, that's over. So, 4th of July is coming up. Now you know a little bit about the history of the 4th of July. And should you celebrate it? I mean, y'all getting y'all barbecue grills ready now. But is it important? What does it mean to you? And next time I come back with a poem, I too sing America. What is the 4th of July to the slave? And those were written by African Americans, and I'm going to come back later, part 3, talk about that. So that was part 2. Hope you enjoyed a little moment with Lamrosh, aka Charmel Has Stories to Tell. And have a good evening. Bye.